up, you guys? It's, what's today? It is, Wednesday. Sorry, I had to figure out what day it was. Sorry, my face is really dry right now. It's that time of year, you know? We're leaving for Charleston just for a night. I have an appointment with my specialist tomorrow, and for those of you that don't know, I have, as I mentioned before, I have a rare lung disease, and I have a specialist that I see annually in South Carolina, Charleston, and he specializes in my disease, and I have to go see him once a year. I'm kind of overdue. It's been like 2 years since I've gone to see him, so I'm slacking. So I finally get to go see him. He's gonna make sure I'm straight, which I've been feeling fine the past like 3 or 4 years. I haven't had a hospital visit or a hospital stay in the past 3 or 4 years. So thank God Almighty, I'm doing well, and hopefully it continues to be that way. Before, when I was first diagnosed, and back in 2017, I was in and out of the hospital because the main symptoms for my lung disease, which is LAM. It's a very long word, but I'm gonna insert the actual word here. But the acronym for it is LAM, L-A-M. The main symptom for it is shortness of breath and collapsed lungs. And I have had a total of... So, let me rewind. So when you have a collapsed lung, you have to stay in the hospital, and they have to insert a chest tube. And then your lung has to inflate again, like a balloon. Then after a few days, they take the chest tube out, and you go home. Well, when you have LAM, it's like a reoccurring thing. You know, normally people get collapsed lungs because they were in a car accident, they had blunt force trauma in some way, or they're smokers. A lot of times smokers get collapsed lungs for, whatever reason. But in my case, it was because of my lung disease, and at first we didn't know what was going on. It was very scary. Was in and out of the hospital the first few years that I was diagnosed, and it was just a very trying time, because we're just trying to figure out what's going on. It was somewhat satisfying to know why exactly I kept getting collapsed lungs once I was diagnosed, so that was a good thing. But the fact that it kept happening, and it was kind of scary every time it happened, and then I got to a point where I was used to it happening, but I just couldn't stand being in the hospital, being hooked up to machines and having, chest tubes inserted. But I did end up building like a higher... Stop that. Why do dogs scratch their butt on the floor? I don't understand. I built a high tolerance for pain. I've had a total of 12 chest tubes. I have the scars to prove it. So yeah, it's been a long journey since 2017. And I think, I'm sorry. I didn't plan on getting emotional. I thank God that I've come so far. I had a hard stint when COVID hit as well. I was in the hospital for a full month in isolation. That was probably, out of every chest tube that I've ever had, out of every stint in the hospital, even my last stint in the hospital, nothing compared to when I was in isolation in the hospital for COVID. Because obviously for me, having a lung issue, it was, I went straight to the ICU. Hadn't got out of the hospital not 2 weeks before when I had to go back for COVID. And that was the absolute worst time of my life. I had people dying next to me, and, in the rooms next to me. It was a scary, depressing, dark time. But I thank God. I thank God. I was able to come out alive. I get a little emotional when I think about that time because it was rough. But anyway, I'm super excited. I always like to go to Charleston. I love the restaurants, the food, the area. It reminds me a lot of New Orleans. For those of you who don't know, I have family in New Orleans. My dad is from New Orleans. It's been a minute since I've been there. But Charleston always gives me like a little piece of New Orleans vibe because it reminds me a lot of New Orleans, but not exactly. It doesn't have the New Orleans flair. But yeah, I'm out walking my dog now. I think she's done because now she's playing with pine cones. But I'm gonna go in and finish packing, get myself together. My mom and her friend and my nephew should be home soon, and we're gonna hit the road. And of course, I'm taking y'all along for the ride. Of course, y'all always go with me. So I'll check in with y'all later. Toodles. So we're halfway, well, we're almost there. I think we have like 45 minutes left of driving. Hasn't been that bad of a ride. We're stopped at a rest stop now, letting my little doggy use the bathroom. Well, it's not my dog, it's my mom's dog. Something about rest stops just reminds me of like creepy things. I think that's just because I watch too much true crime and way too much I'll just watch too much TV in general. So I really wasn't gonna check in with y'all now, but I'm filming on my GoPro. So my new little camera I picked up on Amazon, and I just wanted to test it out. My first little segment on here. So anyway, I'll probably check back in with y'all once we get back on once we get to the hotel. So toodle. Alright y'all, so we made it. So excuse the cannula. Yes, you know how it is. But we're near the water. I don't know if you can like see back there. Like you see the boats in the water. So very nice.
The next day.
What's up, you guys? It's the next day. I didn't film a ton on the way home yesterday just because I was exhausted, tired of being in the car. Like, yeah, so we're back. The appointment went, it was good. It wasn't good news, but there was a solution to the slightly bad news. So pretty much my lung function has gone down since like the past 7 or 8 years, and it's like half of what it was before. So but my doc has a treatment plan, pretty much, you know, upping my dosage of medicine that I take for this particular disease, and the goal is just to restore my lung function back to at least what it was, you know. So that is the goal, and then once that happens, I could be a guinea pig, like doing some research on a new medicine for land patients. So that's in the future. Of course, got to get this taken care of first. But overall, good appointment. I'm glad we figured that out so we can find out what to do with it and stuff. So, but yeah, now I'm back home and I'm just watching some true crime, my fave. But anyway, I just wanted to close out the vlog here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in the next one.